Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And the sun was out, but unfortunately it's starting to get cloudy again. It was turning into a nice day here. Finally February of 2025, hard to believe. And sitting out here in my front yard on a Sunday afternoon here, and I thought we'd talk once again about Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Now, if you've been subscribed to the channel, you know that we've talked about this one quite a bit over the last couple months. And for those of you guys who got in around November, even before then, when we really started talking about it, I think it was around October, this stock did in fact hit a peak. If you look back you can go back really over the last 6 months, and you'll see the chart shows where this thing's been trading. Now, this thing peaked off at 61 cents, but it actually hit $1.94 in the pre-market. And so when we started discussing this on the channel under 20 cents a share, it was pinned there for a long time. And so since then, it's still more than doubled what it was, but it actually 10x'd very briefly. So congratulations to all of you guys who profited off that short window where it went up over 1,000% very quickly. But what we're talking about today is just kind of doing an update. I've been getting a lot of interest and a lot of comments and requests for people wanting me to make a video on this. And I enjoy talking about this stock because I think this is definitely one of the highest potential, also highest risk stocks. We always have to keep in mind the risk of penny stocks and how these things can fluctuate big time. But at the same time, when we have the potential to 10x our money like it did earlier, or a couple months ago in December, when news came out, by the way, this news in particular was kind of a sell the news sort of deal, but up to this news, it was doing very well, and this news was kind of like the final catalyst for the time being. And so after that, it sold off, right? Now we're trading still above 40 cents a share, but it has been a volatile ride. As you can see, we dipped all the way down to 23 cents, and now we're coming back up. So the question is, can we break really? I mean, according to this chart, it's 61 cents. But if you look at some other charts, you can kind of, so this is FinViz, right? And this kind of shows you just a little blip in the chart there. Now, you can't really see because of this ad, but if you can look right there, you can kind of see how the volume spikes up, and then there's not too much going on here, though, compared to the long-term chart, right? You have these huge gaps in the chart, and going up to $4 a share all the way up. So this is one of those things where if this thing does fill those gaps, then that could be very beneficial for shareholders, right? And you'll see that this actually peaked at $1.30 in the morning. So the pre-market hit $1.94 that morning when the news came out of this right here, August 15th, 2025 goal date. And so it peaked off at $1.30, really $1.94 in the pre-market for that brief window that people had to profit. But, it is forming kind of, I don't know if you'd call it a cup and handle. It's kind of forming just this base, and I think we might be trading sideways for a bit. Now, I've discussed these risks on the channel before, and this is kind of an ongoing discussion for shareholders, and it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're looking to purchase this company. Remember, we are still 6 months out, even from February, in terms of the goal date, right? August 15th. And so maybe it's sooner, but nonetheless, August 15th is the goal date. So when we're looking at this, just keep in mind that it could take a while, right? This could take a long time. In the stock market world, is 5 to 6 months a long time? I mean, for a stock like this, I think it kind of is a long time, right? And the reason is because we have two main risks. One is the risk of a reverse split, and the other risk is delisting. Okay, so to avoid delisting, they could reverse split because the minimum share price requirement is $1. The question is really a matter of timing, right? Can they get the share price above $1, and can they maintain that share price for long enough to avoid a reverse split and to avoid having to potentially get delisted, right? Because we want to maintain NASDAQ liquidity if we want to have this company succeed, especially with the FDA approval. So I think as a last resort, whenever it's eligible to do so, I would not be surprised for Tonix Pharmaceuticals to do another reverse split. The timing of that and the exact timing of that, I have no idea. But would I be surprised if we see an announcement for a reverse split? No, I would not. And so that's just something to keep in mind. That is one of the major risks because reverse splits are generally viewed as negative for investors. And so always keep that in mind when we're looking at something like this. But with that being said, guys, I just wanted to kind of keep this short today. I wanted to discuss Tonix Pharmaceuticals again because I know you guys are interested in this stock. According to the views and the engagement I'm getting on the channel, you guys love this one. It's very, very popular. There's a lot going on. A couple more articles real quick. So Tonix, we already went over that one. This one right here, so this came out on January 8th. They did, in fact, add Gary Ainsworth as Vice President of Market Access. So the goal date of August 15th, 2025. So they're kind of adding developments. And there's another, I think, a marketing lead added as well in December, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been adding a lot of people to the team. And really the goal is to get this set up for approval. And like I said, even if a reverse split does happen, maybe it's not the end of the world, right? And the reason I say that is because this is pretty big news if this gets approved. And so maybe you have, I don't know, 10 times less shares at 10 times the higher price. A reverse split does in fact go through. Nonetheless, if that were to happen, maybe it's not the end of the world only because of the news and the catalyst we have here, right? So this is like one of those things where it's high risk, high reward as always. Always keep that in mind with any of these types of stocks. But if we're looking at a high risk, high reward stock, it also means, the potential for upside is virtually unlimited. And it really is. I mean, a short seller can only make money on the way down up to a certain point. A stock can go parabolic, and there can be a short squeeze up to an infinite amount. We've seen that time and time again. And so don't be surprised when this gets approved, or if this gets approved, because nothing's guaranteed in the stock market, that this could be very beneficial for the stock, and that we could see a very large move in the share price. Right now, we're trading at 40 cents a share. That would put, a 10x, $4 a share. So initially it was around $2 a share, which we almost hit. If we want to fill that gap from $2 to $3, I think I was looking at a chart on FinViz here showing the gap all the way from 2 to 3. I think right there it is. Might even be 3 to 4 actually. Yeah, 2 to 3. So that would kind of take care of that gap right there. With that being said, we'll see what happens. But here it is on this chart, a dollar gap, and then all the way up to $2, and then it just kind of goes up from there. Another one at $3, as you can see. So multiple gaps that could potentially be filled on this chart. And those gaps will still be there even if there was a reverse split. The main thing, I think, is to keep the NASDAQ liquidity, keep the ability to raise money on the NASDAQ, because that's where all the big boys are, right? We want that to happen. There was one more article I had pulled up, though. I'm not sure. Let's see here. So, yeah, this was posted yesterday. It's just basically going over the last trading history as well. It goes over some of the numbers and stuff. Not that this is really relevant. I mean, you can go over the financials, but the main thing is that we get this approval, because the sentiment is what's going to carry this thing, right? We have to have the sentiment. We have to have people believing in this story, and really, ultimately, for the approval to happen, right? That's what we want to see. So we also have some firms purchasing. It looks like we had PFG Investments, owning a stake in TNXP. So we have institutional ownership that goes hand in hand with the NASDAQ, and then it kind of gives a company profile here. But, you'll see some various articles come out about Tonix Pharmaceuticals, so keep an eye out for that. This is on marketbeat.com. With that being said, guys, thank you so much once again for tuning in to this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and hope you guys are getting outside if the weather's nice in your area. I know in, Southern Illinois, we don't get days where it was actually kind of warm. It was like 50 or 60 degrees in January here, or February, I guess now. But super nice weather. And so, get outside if you can, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.